Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to do more solving systems of inequality by graphing. And so this is basically going to be an offshoot of what we did yesterday. Okay, so yesterday you looked at how you graphed two of them. Today we're going to graph more than two. And so if you notice, what happens when you graph more than two, if you look at this, I have some boundaries, which are the lines, and then I have some vertices. And so if you notice, when I use three equations, I got a triangle. So let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, now I gave you colored pencils this time. You might have to trade off and share. Okay, but you're going to want to start with probably a lighter color to start with first. Okay, or when you shade, you're going to have to use shade lightly. Okay, because this is the thing, when you start shading three different colors, okay, you'll see that if you start off dark, it's going to be hard to see where they all intersect. So first of all, let's start with x is greater than or equal to 0. What type of line goes with x?
Horizontal.
Vertical. Okay. So one of those two. So in this case, it's going to be a vertical line. Is it going to be solid or dashed? Solid. So I'm going to have a solid vertical line, okay, at 0. So go ahead and start by graphing a solid vertical line at 0. And once you draw that line in, we need to decide where we are going to shade. And so if you notice, is that a less than or a greater than sign? Greater than. So I need to decide, are numbers here greater than or numbers here greater than? Here, right? Greater than just means they're bigger. And so that would be up here. So I'm going to shade lightly. Now remember what I said, because you're going to have like 3 of these. So don't shade overly dark. So on the next one, we need to go ahead and probably pick a little darker color. Okay, y is less than or equal to 3. What type of line goes with y? Horizontal. Okay, so I've got a horizontal line at 3. So I need you to go ahead and draw in a horizontal line at 3.
Bless you.
And then I need to decide, is that a less than or a greater than sign with the y?
That's less than.
Less than, so is that here or here?
Here.
The below, okay? So, a little darker, you're going to shade in. So for your third color, you're probably going to want to pick the darkest of the 3.
Yes.
Okay? So now we need to go ahead and look at this one, and if you notice, this is in what form?
Slope intercept. Well, not yet. But
Standard form. So let's go ahead and find our slope. Remember, our slope is negative a over b. So in this case, negative 2 over negative 3. So my slope is 2/3. Now I need to find my y-intercept. My y-intercept, if you remember, is c over b. So in this case, it'll be 9 over negative 3, which is negative 3. So I'm going to put a dot at negative 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then how do you have a slope of 2/3? Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. What type of line are you going to use here? A solid again. So let's go ahead and draw a line that connects those dots. Okay. For some reason, there we go. And so if you've noticed, I need to figure out, okay, a point on one side or the other. So I could put the point in 0, 0, which is right here. And let's plug that in and see how that works. So if I plug 0 in here and 0 in here, they're both gone, right? What do you have on the left side then? 0. So I have 0. Is that greater than or equal to 9? No, so I'm not going to shade where the blue dot is. Where am I going to shade? On the other side. So this one isn't necessarily, okay, it's not even a triangular region. Because the boundaries, okay, we're looking for where it's shaded all 3. It starts down here, okay, it goes up the blue line, and then it gets up here to the orange line, and that's where it stops. So this one's actually trapezoidal in shape. Okay, and this should be, so if you want to use a 4th color, you can. Otherwise, your 3rd color, if you want to go ahead and just color that in super dark. I won't say super dark, but just dark enough so I can see where the solution is. What that means is that every area that I've shaded in the black will satisfy all 3 of those inequalities. Okay? Every area shaded in the black will satisfy all 3 of those inequalities. Questions? Let's look at another one then. Ooh. Good, we've got 3 diagonal lines on this one. So let's start with our first one. What is my slope going to be on this one?
-1.
-1, good. What's my y-intercept? 3. So I've got a y-intercept of 3, a slope of -1. So that means
Positive 3.
down 1 over 1, yep. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Here, positive 3, sorry. I was thinking of the problem before. What type of line am I going to use there?
Dashed.
Dashed. So go ahead and let's draw a dashed line. Now what do? Let's plug 0, 0 in. So if I plug 0, 0 in, I get 0. And then what do I get?
It's less than 3.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So let's shade on that side with 0, 0. So far so good? Let's take the next one. Okay, the next one, what is my slope going to be? -1 over 5, because remember this is in standard form, so I'm going to do -a over b. What's my y-intercept going to be here, folks? 3, because it's going to be 15 over 5, which is 3. So my y-intercept is going to be exactly the same as the other one. And I've got a -1/5, so what does that mean? Down 1 over 5. Solid dashed, what is it going to be?
Solid.
Okay. So, okay, there we go. So let's pick a point. 0, 0. So I end up getting what?
0 is less than 15.
Is that true? Okay, so I'm going to shade on this side. What's my slope on the last one? Okay, -1 over -1, so my slope is +1. What's my y-intercept going to be? 3 over -1, which is -3. Okay, so there's where your dot is. slope of 1. So up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Solid dashed, what do you got? Solid, nice job. Okay. Okay, what do you want to plug in?
0,
0, 0. So if I plug in 0, 0, here I get 0 as, is that true? No, so I'm going to shade which way? On the bottom. So this one actually is a triangular region. Okay, it's just not a bounded triangular region, which means it keeps going on forever and ever down, but it doesn't matter, it'll still stay. So here's one side. Here's the other side, and this is a dashed line. Okay, and then this is going to be your solution. Alrighty, questions? Can handle 3 of them?
What's our assignment? That's actually 4.
Okay, 4 of them, sorry. So page 149, we're going to go ahead and look at these and make sure that we understand what we're doing. Okay. You need to do 18, 19, 20, and 23. More graph paper is right up there. And just help yourself.
Can we sharpen?
Yes, you can.